Joshua Holt with the Holt Real Estate Team, Keller Williams Realty. You know, we've all heard the terms, it's a seller's market, it's a buyer's market. Today, I want to share with you why I think it's a different kind of market. So we understand that typically when inventory in the market is at or below 6 months of inventory, that means that we're in a seller's market. You know, homes are going to naturally appreciate in value, like we've seen the last several years, because simple supply and demand, there's just not enough supply to meet the demand. On the flip side, when it's over 6 months, we consider that a buyer's market. And of course, that means that there's more listings than there are buyers, and then that tends to lead to home values depreciating. You know, the interesting thing is as you look into where inventory has been trending since 1999, there are only 6 years during that stretch where inventory has been above that 6-month mark. So you can kind of see in the middle part of the last decade, you know, we know kind of leading up to and through the Great Recession, inventory exceeded that, but then starting in 2012 and now ever since, we've seen it below that 6-month line, and that trend has been continuing. So what has that done, of course, to prices? Just like I said, that's led to price increases. So over the last 5 years, we've seen the average home price in Wisconsin, or rather the average home value, increase by 51.1%, just shy of the national average. And just over this last year, we saw that increase by 13.5%. Now, if you look at this trend line, I think I've shared this before, where you look going back to 1990, you know, the long-term average appreciation of a home is about 4%. You'll see that as you look at the yellow line here. And what you'll actually see, and maybe a little bit surprising, is that we're actually right where we should be from a home price standpoint. Granted, we had a little bit above the line around that same time in the early to mid 2000s, and then it dropped off, and now we've worked our way back up these last few years, and we're kind of right where we are expected to be, a little above in 2021, and kind of right on the mark here for where we're projected to finish 2022. So why do I share all this with you? Why do I, you know, when we're talking about the different types of markets? Simply put, that if you're a seller and you're thinking of putting your house on the market, you might be surprised to know how much equity you've actually built up in your home. So that's why, you know, we say, is it a winner's market? Is it a buyer's market? You know, more I'm going to share on that. But that's what I want to, you know, speak to the sellers out there and the current homeowners. You know, now let's flip the script. We have a lot of folks out there that are saying, hey, Josh, when is the market going to crash? When is this bubble going to burst? And honestly, I hate to tell you, I don't see a crash, you know, coming imminent. You don't see a bubble that's going to burst. And, you know, some main factors, you know, I've shared before how we're underbuilt. We have a lack of inventory, and that's a big part. You know, during that Great Recession, we didn't build up enough homes. The other factor is because of this equity position that so many homeowners have gained, we're actually at an all-time low for amount of homes or percentage of homes that are considered underwater, or homes where their value is worth less than what they owe on the home. Stats from late 2021 show about 2.1% of homes that are in a negative equity position, and compared to the historical average of about 6%. And we've been below that 6% now since 2017, and doesn't look like we're going the other direction. The other factor is foreclosure activity. We are at an all-time low of homes that, you know, filed for foreclosures. In 2021, only about 151,000 homes in the U.S., you know, filed for foreclosure. When you look at the peak of 2009, 2010, when that was approaching 3 million homes. Huge difference. So the reality is unlike the last time when the market did crash, the problem is so many people were underwater or were overextended or had maybe gotten home loans that they shouldn't have gotten. And the reality is now lending has been tighter for the last several years. Foreclosures are at an all-time low. Underwater homes are at an all-time low. So if a homeowner gets into trouble, it is very likely that they'll either A, be able to sell their home and actually make money to get out of the situation, or potentially be able to refinance or do something to be able to capitalize on that equity. So if you're a homeowner, you're a seller, really you're in a good position. And unfortunately, that's not going to make, immediate changes for those buyers out there that are just waiting for the market to crash or the bubble to burst. So the other thing I want to share then, so you're a home buyer and you're out there, you're navigating the market and you're thinking like, hey, how can I make the most of this market? Well, the reality is we're still talking about historically low interest rates. Yes, we've seen an increase over the last several months. Yes, we'll probably continue to see an increase. And no, we don't know exactly where these rates are going to go. I mean, I'll admit, where we're at now is kind of where we thought we'd be towards the end of the year, yet we're still at a historical low. You look at a chart here that shows going all the way back to 1972, the historical average from 72 to 20 is closer to 7.8%, 7.81% to be exact. A little bit closer time, go back to 1990, and that historical average is closer to 5.97. So where we finished last year and where we're at now in that, 3 to 4% range, even if we do push mid fours into fives, we're still below that historical average going back to 1990 and definitely going back to 1972. So rates are still a great time. That means homes are still considered affordable even with the rising prices. So where do I want to wrap up here and say why it's not necessarily a seller's market, not necessarily a buyer's market, is I want to close with, if you're thinking about buying a home and you're currently a renter, know that real estate is still one of the most sound investments you can make. In fact, the average net worth of a homeowner compared to a renter is 40 times. Put that in better perspective. The net worth of a homeowner versus a renter last year, average net worth of a homeowner was closer to $300,000. Average net worth of a renter, $8,000. Huge difference. So what do I want to call this market? I don't want to call it a seller's market. I don't want to call it a buyer's market. I'm going to call it a winner's market because everybody can win in this market. You can win if you're a seller and you want to tap into that equity or potentially make a move because now's the time and you want to make a better move for your family or your situation. You can still win if you're a buyer because it's still affordable to buy a home. Interest rates are still low and we can help you whether you're looking to buy, sell, build, or invest here in the greater Madison and South Central Wisconsin area. So once again, Joshua Holt with the Holt Real Estate Team, Keller Williams Realty. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video today. If you have any questions about the local real estate market or beyond, simply give me or my team a call at 608-345-6594, or you can email me directly at jdholt@kw.com. Thanks again for taking the time to watch our video today, and be well.